Hello, everyone out there. I'm Thomas Hall, Executive Director of Clean Start. Welcome to our Clean Start perspective this morning. I have some quick housekeeping that I'm going to do on things. First, I want to thank our sponsors, SMUD, Blue Tech Valley, River City Bank, and the California Mobility Center. All of them are involved with energy, whether it's energy financing through River City Bank, SMUD with their net zero by 2030 goal. Actually, it's absolute zero. I shouldn't say net zero on this. Can you make sure to let people in there, Brianna? Blue Tech Valley is part of the innovation cluster funded by the CEC that we're under. And the California Mobility Center is here to help scale engineering and clean tech projects in the Sacramento region. I also want to thank all the supporters out there that we have that have supported us in our past fundraisers and have been regular contributors. Thank you for your support. If you have a clean tech idea and want to connect with me, you can email me at thomas@cleanstart.org and visit CleanStart to see the work that we do at cleanstart.org. We're also on Empower Innovation, which is a CEC-funded innovation network where you can connect with funding and partners, and you can always find us on LinkedIn. Now, some quick upcoming things that we're really excited about. One, we have 3 perspectives scheduled in the new year. One is T Omega, a floating wind platform. The Decarb Challenge or Decarbonization Challenge out of the Wet Center there for Cal State students that have ideas to help in the energy transition. And Cal Seed is on the 31st. They're back. I'm really excited about that. Also, our in-person meetup is back on the 26th with Show Me the Money. We're going to be talking about the IRA and the infrastructure bills coming forward and trying to help people create teams to go after this grant money. So if you do want to go after that grant money, there is a get ready to apply to DOE and SBIR grants event at 10 a.m. today. We'll have these links posted into the chat. So if you want to follow those, and if you have more, or if you want to follow more about what we do, go check out us on our website at our events. We've got a whole bunch of stuff going on there. All right. Now, I'm Thomas Hall, Executive Director of Hello, I'm Thomas Hall, Executive Director of Clean Start, and today we have our perspectives with CalNEXT. I'm glad to welcome Aaron Fitzgerald and Cassidy Keto of CalNEXT, who's working to decarbonize California and energize California's future. Now, one thing that they're going to talk about that I'm really excited about is all the work they're doing around trying to find innovation in buildings and building decarbonization, from water heaters to lighting to pretty much all of it. Because if you go and check out CARB and the emissions inventory, 25% of state emissions come from buildings. So these are emissions that we have to reduce if we want to reach our goal of reducing emissions by 40%. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Aaron and Cassidy.
Morning, everybody. Thank you so much. Cassidy is going to share her screen, and then we'll get started. Perfect. Thank you, Cassidy. So thank you for the introduction. My name is Aaron Fitzgerald. I'm an associate on the CalNEXT project program, and I'm here today with my colleague, Cassidy Keto. Cassidy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us today. I am the program manager for CalNEXT and work at Energy Solutions along with Aaron.
Perfect. Thank you. So we'll just jump right into about CalNEXT. CalNEXT is a vision to identify emerging technology trends and bring commercially available technologies to the energy efficiency program portfolio. This is a statewide electric emerging technology program, and it's funded by a California investor-owned utility and is a ratepayer-funded program. Its goal is to benefit the energy efficiency portfolio, and the projects are categorized into high priority areas. Seen here, you can see the 6 priorities. So the scope spans from appliance and plug loads, HVAC, lighting, process loads, heating, water heating, and whole buildings. If you want to learn some more about these 6 specific TPMs, so technology priority maps, you can check out our homepage on the CalNEXT website. We have a partner team of 6, so Energy Solutions, so that's what Cassidy and I work for, Energy Solutions, is the lead implementer. Here we have VEIC, AESC, the Ortiz Group, which is our program team's equity specialist, TRC, and UC Davis. They bring a wide area of expertise across our program partners and a deep, broad expertise across a lot of technology areas. These are the partners who we may pair you with for project implementation if we choose your project to go through the CalNEXT program. Here are the program objectives. So everything we do is about advancing California decarbonization goals funded by the California IOU Energy Efficiency Portfolio. So how will we do this? Through communication with you. We're expressing priorities through these TPMs, the technology priority maps. Through scanning and screening, so scanning these projects, our priorities, and we'll be doing this with the partner team that we just mentioned. Broadcasting results to inform stakeholders. We're going to be posting a lot through social media, through our website. Currently, all of the 2022 approved projects are on our website, and all past recordings of events that we go through the not only our approved projects, but about the CalNEXT program are recorded and put on our website if you would like to go check that out. It's on the event page. Advancing California's decarbonization equity and grid prioritizing and executing emerging technology research. So those are our program objectives. To get through these objectives, we have two types of projects. So we are not a research and development program. We're interested in underutilized technology, market-ready or near market-ready projects. So these projects can be ideally feed into the IOU portfolio. Projects should be addressing market barriers or developing the commercial capability and to improve the ability to generate energy savings. So we have the TSR and TDR, so Technology Support Research. A TSR is market-ready. So it's about 1 to less than a year from commercialization. And then we have a TDR, which is more early stage technology, but it's 1 to 5 years from commercialization. This is different than our project submission. So there are two pathways when you're submitting. You can either submit as an idea or submit as a project. The idea is what it sounds like. It's an idea, but it needs a little bit more help fleshing it out. We're here to help you. So if you kind of don't know, it's okay. We can help you out with that. But an idea is defined as a solution that's not ready yet for implementation. A project is more fully baked and ready to go. A project is defined as an idea that's been fully vetted and is ready for implementation if selected by the CalNEXT team. We will choose a partner team member to assist you in conducting and guiding that research and collaborating with you on that research. In 2022, we've just started a couple months ago. We didn't even have the full year, but we had a goal of committed projects, which are projects that are being funded under the 2022 budget. For TDRs, we our committed 2022 projects were 8 and TSRs was 30. Now that we are getting closer to 2023 so quickly, our desired outcomes for TDRs is still 8, but we are looking to do 32 TSRs. Looking into 2023, we're identifying enough projects to meet annual, can you go back a slide, please? We're identifying enough projects to meet annual program targets within annual program budget. So we're making fair, consistent, and decisions on those projects being brought in. We're identifying projects that have the most value to contribute to the program, and engaging industry stakeholders.
And just one clarification here, the numbers that are presented on each of these slides are what is in our implementation plan in our contract for the number of projects, the target goal for the number of committed projects for 2022 and 2023.
Perfect, thanks. So now looking into the selection process, this is just high level, but first you would submit on our website. So when you submit, you can check the calnext.com how to participate page. And our next submission deadline is February 23rd, 2023. We're going to be going through submissions quarterly going forward. The next step would be supporting. So ensuring everyone's project can be evaluated fairly. We pair you with a program partner who can support by offering suggestions to have a more complete project submission. This takes about 3 weeks. Then we have evaluation. So revised project ideas is evaluated using prioritization criteria. So names and identifiable information is redacted from submission. Then they are sent to the evaluators for scoring. This is all a blind scoring review. And then selection high priority projects will be selected to begin project planning. We'll be calculating scores and selecting projects to be in project planning. And finally, contracting. So contracting begins after the project plan is approved. The project plan becomes a contracted scope of work. Once contracts are signed, you can submit for a first invoice and begin implementation of the project. So here is our prioritization criteria. When our team is scoring projects or ideas, this is what we're making sure is met. So first is TPM alignment. So this goes with the 6 TPMs, technology priority maps that I mentioned earlier. We have to have 25% weight of this, and it's how well does this project submission align with the program. The second is our benefits. So that's, you have to be 20% weighted in your overall score. How great are the benefits beyond program eligibility, whether the project has benefits for utilities and affected hard to reach or disadvantaged communities. Third is quality of an idea. So how well thought out is the project? This is 50% of our weight. So clarify the scope. How innovative is it? Whether it's ready for implementation, has a clear market strategy, and has a reasonable timeline. And finally, the cost. Is it an appropriate use of funds? It's based on our estimated budget. If you have more information on our budget, we have a public implementation plan with each year's budget on there. And project submission, as mentioned earlier, you can do this through our website. On the right is just a screen share of what our website looks like. You can also download the PDF. So if you're interested in submitting your project, please make sure to submit through the CalNEXT website. Our team will be reviewing on a regular quarterly basis. So as mentioned earlier, our deadline is February 23rd, 2023. That's the next one coming up. Reviewing projects will not begin until February 23rd. So if you submit even now, we won't review until that deadline. If you submit an idea or a project, please prepare to be asked to meet with the CalNEXT team between March 2nd and March 16th. If you'd like more information on the scanning and screening process, please check out our past scanning and screening event. I know I plugged that earlier, but all past events are recorded and put on our event page. And so this specific event goes through the scanning and screening process, and it also goes through applying online if you have any questions. So frequently asked questions are gone through there. Just a little plug for the California Statewide Gas Emerging Technology Program. So the GET, Gas Emerging Technology Program, is very similar to the CalNEXT program, but it's the gas version. So it's specifically for projects related to gas energy efficiency. And thank you so much. This was just a little bit about CalNEXT. We're really excited for our discussion. Cassidy will also be helping me with a lot of the questions that we have today. So thank you.
Excellent. First, I want to kind of give a round of applause. Thank you for coming and spending time today to talk with us about this. I didn't catch it. So how much, what sizes of projects are you funding? How much funding is available for each project?
Yeah, so each project is very different depending on the project and what needs to be done for implementation. So I know I mentioned this earlier, but it's really not a rebate program. And so Cassidy, do you have a little bit more information about, estimated budget size?
Yeah, so for 2022, for instance, we had 30 research projects that we needed to fund, or sorry, 38 total research projects that we were looking to fund. And our total annual budget for the program, including administrative costs, is 14 million. So that kind of gives you a sense, there are administrative costs related to implementing this program. We do have ranges within our options on the website when you submit a project, and that kind of gives you a general sense of like what we are looking for as well. I think in general, I would say they probably range from 20,000 to 400,000 as like a broad estimate of projects. Again, there's flexibility in that a little bit, but we do have to stick to our annual budgets for this program.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that we don't have people going saying like, okay, I got a $5 million idea.
Exactly.
Because a lot of entrepreneurs like to think big. Now, I kind of see, and I think when I talked with you before, this is part of the state's goal of de-risking a lot of innovative technologies. And if anyone joined or watched us earlier this week with Tolo, highlighting how a demonstration project or some sort of project that you can prove your technology is absolutely critical to growth. So with kind of that in mind, are you guys, what support are you guys offering potentially after a successful project? Are you working with additional people to say like, all right, we've got a demo project, now let's shout it everywhere. So hopefully that results in more for the technology?
Yeah, so what we didn't get into is some of the requirements of the actual project itself. So I would say part of the dissemination efforts of that, or the I guess utility IOU adoption efforts, would be scoped into the initial project plan. Like that's kind of the scope of work that's going to define the length of funding for this particular project. So, if it's a 2-year project, like maybe it's a year of demonstration and a year of like measurement and verification of that project. Then everything would need to be completed within that 2 years of however you're scoping out the project. But one thing that's underlined in this program is dissemination efforts that are kind of inherently part of that scope. So we want to make sure that, as part of that funding, we are helping you to talk to the right program implementers at the IOUs who might be interested in adopting this particular technology into their portfolio, or if it is going to develop into an actual measure within the portfolio, we can help connect you with folks like the Cal Technical Forum, who are developing a lot of the measures that are going into the IOU portfolio. So I would say that's kind of part of the expected scope, and will help you kind of define those expected outcomes at the onset of the project. So that's some of the initial support we provide, and then obviously we'll be supporting any implementer throughout the length of the project as well.
So do all projects have to be, when we're talking about physical projects here, are they required to be in IOU territory, or can they be working with IOU territory, but the ultimate projects in a POU territory?
Great question. Oh, Erin, did you want to?
Because it's California, a ratepayer funded program, It needs to be within the California IOU.
Yeah. So there, the people over there at West Sac in Chico, make sure you're listening to this, and Placer, with the exception of Roseville Electric.
One exception to that is, so if you are doing a site implementation, like testing it out at a customer site, that customer site needs to be within IOU territory. If you're going to do a lab demonstration of some sort, which is usually going to fall into that TDR bucket, that could be at a national lab. So it can be at a national lab, but that's kind of the only carve out that the IOUs have included.
If there was only a national lab in Sacramento. But so of kind of so you've only had a couple months of this program. It seems like you guys have got a lot of traction and a lot of people signing up for it. And I want to kind of actually call back and make sure kind of expand upon the support that you're giving to entrepreneurs or people that have the ideation kind of stale, that that early TRL level. So if I were to go to the website, which I encourage everyone to do, go calnext.com. Okay, I'm like, okay, calnext.com. You can go find the application. There is that PDF download that you can have there, and the application is really simple. If you're scared of grant applications, this is not one that's scary at all. it's actually really easy. So if someone goes and fills that in, they get feedback and then paired with someone to talk with them about it and help and hopefully improve it. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, one quick clarification there. We are not a grant program. So just to be clear on like language, we are an IOU funded ratepayer program. So yes, we do provide support. So when we get an idea or submission in, the next step would be moving that to scoring typically, but we want to make sure we provide you support in terms of we fully understand the idea and then talk through that with you. And if there's any changes needed to that submission, we'll help you make that more robust. And then that'll move on to the scoring process. And then once it's scored, and then we also provide the support in terms of implementation, in terms of like helping manage deliverables, helping from a program perspective of, templates, resources, things like that.
So if they apply once and get it scored, can they come back with a similar idea and try to go for a higher score?
The way the process works is that if you're not limited by the number of submissions, for sure. You can submit as many times as you want. Once the project is scored, there's a number of factors that go in. So we do try to have a threshold score, but at any given time, it may depend on the program priorities. Like Erin mentioned, the technology priority maps that we define. It may depend on funding. If you submit something November 30th, we probably won't have 2023 budget. We may defer that to 2024. So different factors will affect which projects are being accepted. But we always, if we defer a project, but we think it has potential in the future, we have a process in place to always circle back with submitters. I would say in that case, if it's received a good enough score, but for some reason it's not being prioritized at that time, it wouldn't require a full resubmission. It would just be our team coming back to that submitter and saying, hey, it wasn't the right time, but we think now is the right time a couple months later or whatever it might be.
I think that's something really important to note. And for those of you that watched our discussion with Sidell of open grants, he mentioned, we asked him, had he ever not won a grant? And he said yes. And they said, actually, no, there's grants I haven't won. But then later they came back and said, hey, can you change it a bit and then go after it? So networking and connecting with people at CalNEXT, it's a long-term plan for your startup success. And I mean, we even have a recent example here of it in Sacramento where the Carlson Center, they applied for a large grant, didn't get it. And 9 months later, the people that were doing the grant came back and said, hey, we want you to do a small change and resubmit. So partnerships. And I kind of want to jump back and ask you guys kind of, I guess, a energy transition related question. There's a whole bunch of exciting stuff you're talking about on building decarbonization. When you're kind of looking at what's happening, what are some things that kind of like stand out and I guess get you most excited for what could happen in California in the next 5 years? Or is that not a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can plug really quickly the list of approved projects that we have on our website can, gives you the project description of some of the projects that we've already been starting implementation on.
Mhm.
I know, I mean, personally, I think, greenhouse lighting is really exciting, but that's just me personally. Cassidy, do you have an opinion on some of the projects we've been looking at?
Yeah, I would say, we're always looking for innovative projects in terms of new delivery mechanisms, new technologies, obviously. And right now, one of the big things is heat pumps. I'm sure everyone's, that's very much in this space right now. But I think there's a lot of innovations to be had in process loads specifically. I'm not necessarily an expert in that, but I think that is one area where we could probably use more projects if folks are in that space. I think heat pumps are getting a lot of attention and they're obviously exciting, but there's already a lot of movement there. So from a portfolio perspective, we do kind of need to balance that out across the technology areas. So, if there is something really new and innovative from your side on heat pumps that we've never seen before, there's a good chance, but there's a lot of movement in that area already. So process loads is one that I think 2023 will hope to get more projects in. And yeah, I'll leave it there.
So if you have something around process loads and you're out there and you're like, no one's paid attention to me, CalNEXT is here to listen, right? That's one thing I got out of that. I'm going to call on Gary and ask if he has any questions.
Well, I'm just cruising through all the projects that you've funded here. And I know that you haven't been doing this a whole time. It's fascinating, the breadth of stuff that you're interested in doing. And it's not just, come with a widget. You're also encouraging people to do like field studies that provide data that could help people who are developing technologies. But are there any projects that you're working on now that you could describe or highlight what's going on there?
Well, I can definitely plug in really quickly. We had a recent event that, if you're interested in watching, we had each project lead go over each project. So they did a quick 6-minute description. So if you have time, it goes over each of these. They have the project lead going over each of these. But Cassidy, if you have one specifically that you wanted to jump into.
I will just preface it with, we are not the implementation leads. We're helping with the administrative side of the program. But we do, Energy Solutions ourselves are implementing some of the projects, and one of them that is further along. I think the other thing to consider is, because we launched earlier this year, our public launch was early July. A lot of these, getting through our processes of reviewing, they're pretty early in their stages of implementation, so there may not be a ton of results just yet. But there is a market study being done related to all electric commercial kitchen electrification. And so our food service team is looking at identifying the electric service requirements for different restaurant types, like quick serve restaurants, cafeterias, hospitality. And they're trying to understand, okay, what are the different costs and load requirements for upgrading these services to all electric, all of the different food service equipment that is still gas-based. If we were to convert that over to the electric-based equipment, what is the actual building requirements involved? So that final report should be published by the end of the year. So I would just say look out for that, because that one is one that is further along than others at this point.
And,
Well,
I was just going to say, and that final report will be published on the website. So you'll see it right under that approved project list.
So bookmark calnext.com.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Go back there frequently. Okay, so.
And if folks are familiar with ETCC, the Emerging Technologies Coordinating Council, they're kind of under the bucket of the emerging technologies efforts at the utilities. And so it'll be cross-posted on their website as well. And I think you can sign up for notifications on their listserv for every single time a report is published, which includes non-CalNEXT reports as well. But that is another resource for everyone as well.
Okay, great. So I'm on the website. So the thing that you're talking about where people gave a short summary, that's the 2022 Project Summit, November 29th, right? Okay, well, people should go take a look at that. It looks like a fairly short video, but learn a lot about what people are doing and may give you some more ideas as to how CalNEXT could help you. So that's excellent resources you have here.
Yeah, and if you're interested in a specific technology priority map, we section them off. so you can like just jump around. So the first part is heat pump, water heating and HVAC. The second, I believe, was plug loads and appliances and whole building. And the third is or the other way around, process loads and whole building. And then the last is plug loads and appliances and lighting. So you can just kind of jump around if you're interested.
Yeah, so that's on, okay, so that's under resources on the website.
I put a link to the Vimeo that had, or the Vimeo
Yeah.
has all the projects on it, all the videos on it, if people want to check it out.
Yeah.
It's from their summit. I did attend that summit. I believe you guys had SMUD, Denver Hines there present on what SMUD was working on. So it's great that it's everywhere in California that's connecting on this. Because even if a technology is demoed in, in an IOU territory, I can guarantee you it's going to apply across the river in a POU territory. So this is just a great shot for anyone on it. Any final comments from Aaron or Cassidy?
No, I mean, I think this is a really exciting program that I'm really thankful to be a part of. And, moving forward, we have a lot of really great ideas and a great team to work with. So 2023 is going to be a year of a lot of projects and, implementation. So that's great.
Yeah, I really appreciate you doing this because I don't think a whole lot of people know this even exists.
Well, we just did start. So yes, we are still like kind of dipping our foot in almost. So there's going to be a handful of conferences that we'll be attending this next year. That's nothing as concrete just yet, but we do want to get our name out a little bit more. And
Oh,
Cassidy.
absolutely. And we want to make sure we invite you back
Oh, of
because
course.
this will be something that grows over time. But this is a really great service for people that are trying to zero in on an idea that would make a difference, and the help that you're offering. It's just, you can't count its benefits in money. It's just amazing that the resources you'll make available to people.
All right.
Awesome.
Any
The
last-
other way you can get in contact with us, this email's on our website, but it's info@calnext.com. I can drop that in the chat as well.
And
Excellent.
if you want to sign up for our email list as well, that's a possibility. We send out updates on events and, whatever's going on.
Okay, well, that would help. People would then get enough warning to be able to fit that into their schedules.
Yeah.
So anyway, we really
And
appreciate you doing this.
The other announcement that's actually coming out today is the TPMs, the technology priority maps, are updated on a yearly basis. So the 2022 update that'll be in effect for next year's projects will be published later today. So if you sign up, you should receive that email shortly, and that'll kind of help inform some of the projects that you're hopefully thinking about submitting.
So go there and make sure that you sign up for everything and stay on top of what's happening at CalNEXT there. I want to thank our presenters, Aaron and Cassidy, for joining us today and taking time to highlight what's going on with CalNEXT and how we can take advantage of that. I also want to thank everyone for attending this. And, I mentioned some of our past events that we've had. You can check out our YouTube channel where we have discussions on grants and partnerships. You can also come and check out future virtual events on wind energy, CalSeed, the decarbonization challenge, and in person, Show Me the Money, our meetup, which is actually happening at Solar PV America, or Solar Juice, who has a large solar factory right here at McClellan Park. It'll be in person and we'll have good pizza if you want to attend. I want to thank our supporters, SMUD, Blue Tech Valley, River City Bank, and the CMC, and our overall program sponsors that also support us and partners that get us through everything. And with that, I want to, again, thank everyone who was here, everyone for coming. A shorter edited version will be up later. And you can watch the live one on YouTube or on LinkedIn. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great job.